My favorite part was the Coliseum and being able to see all the different parts of it, and I've always been interested and it was really nice just finally seeing it.
I really liked going to all the different levels of the Coliseum, and I also liked all the statues and ceilings and everything in the Vatican Museum.
My favorite part of the trip so far was either getting to go inside of the Coliseum and to the basement and up to the top to see how it worked back in the days when they used it, and how they kind of innovated ways to get animals up into the Coliseum to fight and how they would flood it with water. Or just yesterday when we rented like the rickshaw bikes and we rode around, and kind of Massimo was chasing us and pouring water on us, that kind of thing. That was really fun. And I also really liked learning all about my camera and how Alex and Lena taught me how to use ISO and f-stop and shutter speed, which is really useful when taking pictures. So, yeah.
My favorite part about the trip so far was probably going to St. Peter's Basilica, where we got to climb up to the top and you could see a lot of Rome from up there. You could see a lot, even all the way to the Colosseum. Yeah, it was cool.
My favorite part so far would have to be the museums in the Vatican. All the ceilings were so detailed and it was beautiful. The Sistine Chapel is just amazing to see in person. The whole thing is just breathtaking. You couldn't expect one man to paint that entire room.
I would probably have to say my favorite part about this trip so far is more likely the probably going to the very top of St. Peter's, because I didn't know anyone had actual access to it. So yeah, probably getting up to the top and seeing pretty much all of Rome and seeing some of the mountains was pretty incredible to see, because I don't think anyone else could find a better sight in the world.
I've got to say my favorite part was probably when we were at the park yesterday, and everybody surprised me with a birthday cake. Yesterday was my 18th birthday, and it was just really fun, and it had little fireworks coming off of it, so that was a really fun surprise. And then that night I got a card from everyone, so it was a really fun birthday. And I've got to say that's probably my favorite part so far, because it really shows how much we've been bonding. So yeah.
My favorite part of the trip so far is definitely seeing everything, from the Colosseum to Vatican. Just seeing it in person is just a wonderful experience.
My favorite part of the trip so far has definitely been the food and learning so much about photography from all the leaders, as well as seeing all of the different places like the Colosseum and the Sistine Chapel.
My favorite part of the trip so far was walking from place to place, so from the Colosseum to different ruins and out to dinner, because you actually get to see the city, not just little ruins.
My favorite thing so far has actually just been walking around Rome, just seeing how the ruins are part of the way things are done here. The ruins are part of the buildings. It's normal and it's kind of weird, but it's really cool.
My favorite part of this trip has been climbing to the top of St. Peter's Cathedral and looking out over all of Rome and seeing the Colosseum.
My favorite part of the trip so far has been actually getting to know Latin, since I've been taking that for 5 years. It's been nice to be able to translate some of the things that have been on the ancient sites and everything, and I also have really enjoyed the food here. That's probably one of my favorite things. So.
We went to Vatican City, and we went to the Sistine Chapel, walked through there, saw most of it, had to rush through a little bit. When we left, had a good lunch, and then we went to St. Peter's Cathedral. There we climbed to the top of the cathedral and looked at the gorgeous view. And then we climbed down, all met up, did a little assignment, had a really, really good dinner. Best pizza I've had so far. And then gelato and nice walk back, I think. Yeah.
My favorite part of the trip so far would probably have to be the Pantheon and the
inside of the Vatican Museum. They were both really beautiful and so much going on and so amazing to behold, because you see pictures of it and you never really know what it looks like until you're there. The contrasting things between the pantheon of the tourist destination and the church was really interesting, and the Vatican museums were absolutely gorgeous and had so many different frescoes and paintings that were just incredible to look at.
My favorite part of this trip so far has been all the food and everything I've learned about photography and all the buildings we've seen, and seeing new things that I couldn't imagine how great they were.
My favorite part of the trip so far has been probably the Coliseum.
My favorite thing on this trip so far has probably been walking through the Vatican and seeing all the museums and stuff, all the architecture, and all the paintings on the ceiling, and also running up the steps of St. Peter's Cathedral and getting to the very top and doing the 360 around the city. So that's really cool.